I'm gonna teach a thing or two about the blades. Before I get to that, I'm gonna give y'all some pointers on the clippers that I have, because each clipper that I have, they um they target my hair in a specific way than the other ones don't. So say for instance, all of these are open, right? So basically, if you don't know about haircuts, there's a thing called leaving the blade open or closed. This is called open, and this is called closed because the blade gets flush, so it's closed. So all these are open, right? But they target my hair different. So I recommend getting one zero gap, another one that is not zero gap, and another one like this one, or one that cuts different than the other ones, because to me it makes the fade pop out even better. Everyone has their own method, and not everybody's hair is the same, but this is what works the best for me. It takes a lot of patience as well, but if you just started cutting your own hair, what I recommend is learning how to do the flick out motion, because that's very crucial when you cut your hair, because you never want to dig. So when I started, that took me a while to adjust, because I feel like when I started, I felt like you just gotta dig and it'll come out, but that's not the case. So every time you use one of these guards, you have to attack it with the flick out motion. Most of the time, it just depends on the guy's hair. Playing with the lever is very important as well when you're trying to execute the fade. So like I taught y'all about the open and closed blade, and you always want to have it halfway open, 2/3, 1/4 or 3/4. All of those are vital, important factors when trying to execute the fade, because as you need a lot of experience as well. Say for instance, you use forgot what this guard is called, half guard, I guess. So a lot of barbers, they'll be careful to have it open, because sometimes you don't want to chop off too much on the hair. So you always want to start off with it open. If it's not fading out properly, then you close it halfway and it will like fade it out real good. Like I said, it always depends on the guy's hair. So some say it's better to fade it with the skin stretched out. Some can do it without. So if it's a professional, then they don't have trouble fading the skin out. You never want to rely just one tool. You always want to have multiple tools. Like I got the shaver, and I have two of the blades so I can shave, because this one cuts different than this one. So this one has no protective barrier. So whenever I try to shave, it shaves in a clean state. Compared to this one, it only lets you go so much. So it's always important to, if you want the best crispy edge up, then I recommend always changing the blade. But with me, I always end up using the same blade more than 2 or 3 times, because it's me, right? I'm not real picky about my haircut, but I am at the same time. So this time I'm gonna change the blade to this one, and I've been using the same blade for more than 7 times on this one, because for me, used blade like this one, the one that's not protected, doesn't cut me compared to a new one. It cuts me, even though I'm using the I don't know what this is called, right? But this helps a lot, making sure you don't get cut as much. But whenever I have a new blade for the unprotected barrier one, it cuts me compared to it's used, and it doesn't cut me. When you try to execute the edge up, you always want to make sure the fade's first on there, like mine. Then before I even touch my face with the blades, with the shaver, I always trim the edges. So you start with the weed eater, then you turn it on, then you start doing the edge up right here. So let me turn it on real quick. Nah, that's taking too long. So since that's out the way, let me just start shaving right. You can't really tell, but I can. In person, if you get close to me, you can tell I got a lot of facial hair. Well, not that much. I wish I had a lot of facial hair. Before I start with this one, with the edges, the better the light you have, then the better of the chances of executing the fade. So if you have less light, then it's harder to see. You're not gonna get all the information that there is in one video unless that video is probably like an hour or 2 hours long and they describe it real good, each step, how to cut, how to fade properly. It's always important to look up as many tips and advice out here on the internet. Even if you find all the advice and tips, you still have to know how to do the hands-on part. So you have to mess up a couple of times before it comes out real good. So it takes a lot of practice and patience. So I'll start off with this before I start with the other shaver. I'll get the middle part before I start going right here. Whenever I edge it out, I use a new blade so it can come out real crispy, and the line will look out. The line will look straight. So you see, I'll go right here. Can't really do it right with the camera, but I'm just trying to give you an example. So you never want to go like that, or you never want to go like that. You always want to keep it leveled, flush. You never want to go deep, or you never want to go this deep. You always want to keep it like an angle and just go. If it feels like it's gonna cut you, more than likely it's gonna cut you. So it's gonna have, if you want it to be more smoother, you always want to make sure it's like covered with steam, or you're like humid. The face is humid, the skin is like sweaty. It'll cut more cleaner, but I can still get it done without using all that. At first I was like nervous using these, but I'm glad I started using these because it's more efficient when trying to do the edge up. But at first I was kind of like hesitant, but now that I'm a little bit more experienced, I like using this more because you can see the line better. Whenever I get to this part right here, I gotta make sure I gotta cut from the corners because I can't cut it flush like right here when it's all like leveled out, because I cut myself because of my jawline. So on the jawline, I gotta do it on this side of the corner. Make sure you wear clothes because there's a lot of mosquitoes and put mosquito spray. So I'm gonna finish this up. I got more tips. If you like these videos, then like and subscribe. I gotta get going because the sun is going out and I'm trying to get this over with. And one more thing, make sure whenever you're using the shaver, you use your other hand to pull on the skin, not too much, just where it's not going nowhere, then you shave it. That's it. Or that's all for now.